If I wasn't here tonight, if I were not here tonight, I would have been asleep by, I'd have had 2.5 hours of sleep by now. People ask me what it's like to be retired. Well, I get up at 12:30. Then it's time for my nap. But I do want to thank the selection committee for nominating and allowing me to get into the Hall of Fame with these wonderful people that are already in it and the ones that were inducted tonight. Naturally, you got to thank people for being here. And first, I'd like to thank my wife, Ann. Ann raised my family while I was coaching. I coached 57 years. I met her when she was 14. I waited till she was 16 before I married her. That's been 50 happy years ago, which is not bad out of 63. You know. I graduated from college in 52, and I became an assistant coach in 53, 54 at Howard College. Then I became the head football coach, athletic director, and basketball coach at South Georgia College. Now, some of those guys, y'all stand up over there, men. This is the first team I coached right here. Y'all stand up. Yeah. I got into the National Coaches Hall of Fame about 6, 7 years ago. They were right there. They were sitting right there. They got introduced, just like anybody else would. Of course, half of them older than me, but I was 25, and some of them had already been in the service, Some of them were older than I was. But I'll tell you a little funny story about this. They decided, this past summer, we had our 57th year reunion. And so about after I had coached there and been gone for about 25 years, they called me and said they wanted to have a reunion. I said, okay, we'll do that. So, Coach, you'll come back to Douglas, Georgia. We'll have you a room for you and your wife, and we'll get all the boys to come back, and we'll have a reunion. So we did. They set everything up. Well, Ann and I couldn't. They were come in on Friday, stay Saturday, and then go home Sunday. So Ann and I couldn't get there Friday afternoon. Because something, so I got in that night. So Ann and I drove in that night. Now, again, hadn't seen those guys in 25 years. And we registered, and I said, are the South Georgia boys here? Oh, yes, they're here. They're back there by the pool. I said, well, thank you. So I'll go out and get my car, and Ann and I drive around the motel. It was just a 2-story motel back in those days, We pull in there, and we hear a lot of noise out there behind the hotel there at the swimming pool. I said, let me go see if that's my boys. So I walk back there and I look out there, and there's 50, 60, 70 people there having a good time. I walk back to Ann. I said, Ann, that's not them. That's a bunch of old men. That's true. That's a true story. Now I don't know if you noticed when they showed they started that film on me. They showed some early shots of the Oklahoma game of 1976, my first year, and we hadn't won a game up to that time. Now Gene McDowell and Billy Sexton and Jim Gladden and Mickey, I forgot. Mickey wasn't here then at the time, were you? Mickey wasn't here at that time. So anyway, when you hadn't got a good ball club, you try to warm up pretty. You got to do something fancy to show people, boy, he's a good coach. So I don't know, did you notice us winding out on the field in that film? My boys hit the field, boy, they look, Oklahoma came out there in one pile, So this really happened. You know how coaches before a game meet out in the center of the field and shake hands, unless it's Steve Spurrier. But you know how coaches meet out in the middle of the field and shake hands before the game. So Barry, now we hadn't won a game. Switzer is undefeated, #1 in the nation, won the national championship the year before on about an 18-game winning streak. So he's trying to think of something nice to say to me. You know, we ain't won a game. He's fixing to kill me. And he wants to think of something nice to say. And he says, he saw our kids warming up. He said, boy, those kids look at them, how they do that. Boy, your coaches really do a good job with them. I said, Coach, I'll swap my coaches for your players. That's true. That's true. I coach, as I said, I coached 57 years. I was here 34 years. I have a favorite year. I have a favorite year. You know, it's hard to do. You got that many years. Surely you don't prefer one team over the other, and I don't. But I do have a favorite year. You know what it was? 1977. That was fun. I think Gene and them were here with us that time because that's when I just got the job. It was my second year. And we hadn't been to a bowl in years. We hadn't been nationally ranked in years and hadn't had winning season in years. And my first year, we didn't have a winning season. But that second year, we won 10 ball games, played in our first bowl, beat Texas Tech, and I think we ended up nationally ranked 14th in the nation. Now, I believe out of all the years I coached, even the national championships, that's still my favorite year, you know. That's I think that's Jimmy Jordan Woodham years, I believe. Am I right on that? Yeah. Memory's going. Now, the next thing I want to mention is the most significant win I believe we had in the years that we had here. I was fortunate enough to win over 300 games at Florida State. I can't even remember that. I mean, I can't even believe that. You know, my career just went so darn fast. But out of all the games we won, the one I thought that's been the most meaningful to Florida State University history is Nebraska in 1980. Now get the picture. Get the picture. At that time, Florida State did not have a big name with the big people. You know what? And so we had opened the season. We won our first game, won our second game, won our third game. And then the third game, our center tore his knee up, and he's out for the year. So we put our second team center in there. Well, 5 plays later, he sprains his ankle. He's out. He can't walk. Now we don't have a center. But we had worked our right guard, our starting right guard. We had practiced him snapping the ball just in case that ever happens. If you notice, you hardly ever lose centers. You lose running backs, you lose linebackers, but you hardly ever lose a center. We lost 2. You think a quarterback's valuable? Huh? Who you think gives him the dadgum ball every dadgum play? That center starts every play. But anyway, this guard starts the game. It's the fourth quarter. We're beating them 40-something to nothing, so we win anyway. You know, we win anyway. And so then we go back next week we're going to play Miami in Miami. And this time Miami wasn't very good either. This was back when neither one of us was very good, you know. And I think we were probably 10 or 12-point favorites. Well, dadgummit, this guard's going to have to start center. But he'll be okay. You know, we'll beat Miami, you know. So we go down there and play them. We fumble 10 times just between the snap of the quarterback and the center. We fumble 10 of them. They get 5 of them. They upset us 10-9, you know. The next week, we're going to play the number 3 team in the nation, Nebraska, at Nebraska. Now, back in those days, people don't beat Nebraska out there. Now, lately, they've been getting on them a little bit, but you just don't beat them out there, you know. So we just lost the game 10-9 to Miami, and I ain't even got a dadgum center, you know. And I remember getting our coaches together and said, man, we got 2 centers on our freshman team. And one of them was a center we'd signed out of Ohio, about 6'3", about 235, and big, nice physical kid. Now listen, 6'3", 235 back in 80, that was big. You can't even play now unless you're 300. On the line of scrimmage. If you ain't 300, you might as well forget it, you know. Well, anyway, but he had this big center from Cincinnati. Then we had a walk-on kid from Savannah, Georgia, you know. non-scholarship. And well, we had no choice. Coaches, get those two centers and work them equally. Give him 5 snaps and give him 5. Then give him 5 and just at the end of the week, we're going to decide who starts. So they did that. Thursday rolled around. All right, coaches, who we going to start center? We all agreed that walk-on. That walk-on will never fumble. He never misses a snap. The other kid, he can block, but that'd give me a fumble every 5th time. So we got to go with this boy that can snap the ball, So we go up to Nebraska, and of course they're heavy favorites, and they got us 14-0 first quarter. They're going to beat us pretty good, 14-0 the first quarter. Well, we hang on, and we kick a field goal right before the half, go out 14-3. We come out the second half, and our defense starts really playing good. We kind of shut them down. We finally eked in a touchdown. I think we kicked 4 field goals that day, and we upset them. They had the ball on our 1-yard line. It showed it in that film a while ago. They had the ball on our 3-yard line, first down. They fumbled. We got it. That's the game, But that was probably one of the biggest wins at Florida State ever. I thought it put us on the map. People began to say, well, who is this Florida State? Look what they did up there at Nebraska, see? Now, of course, after that, we beat a lot of folks. We beat Notre Dame. We beat Michigan. We beat everybody. They beat us too. They beat us too, but we whipped them too, And but that ball game meant so much. Now that walk-on center I was telling you about was Jerry Coleman. I gave him a full scholarship the next Monday. I gave him a full scholarship. He never played another down. The other guys got well. He couldn't beat them out, But what a great young kid. Now listen, I'm gonna finish by reading a poem that I read when I got into the Alabama Hall of Fame years ago. But this poem means a whole lot to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Talks about Hall of Fames. To have your name up there is greater yet by far than all the Hall of Fames down here and every man-made star. This crowd on earth, they soon forget the heroes of the past. They cheer like mad until you fall. That's how long you last. I tell you, friend, I would not trade my name, however small, if written there beyond the stars in that celestial hall. For any famous name on earth, a glory that they share, I'd rather be an unknown here and have my name up there.